Hi, this is Mark Rivera from Ringo Starr and Billy Joel, and this is Music Marketing Monday. Peace and love.
This show is brought to you by HostBaby.com, web hosting for musicians.
It's episode 25 of Music Marketing Monday, and we want to put you in the driver's seat. That's right. We want to know what you want us to cover in upcoming episodes. That's right. This is a hands-on experience. So buckle up, get ready. Here we go.
Information, inspiration, motivation for the modern musicpreneur.
Time to start your week right.
Here it comes, Music Marketing Monday, with your host, Bob Baker,
Mr. Buzz Factor,
and Billy Gryzak.
The Music Marketing Mind.
Ready? Are you sure?
Set.
Here it comes. Swing, baby.
Baby, you can drive my podcast. Ba, 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 ba. Hey, we didn't even practice that. That was great. Fantastic.
I was just in the middle of taking a drink, so I had to do it with water in my mouth. I was humming more than, but anyway.
Dude,
yes.
that's like, you could be like on America's Got Talent with that one, man. Hey, what is going on, folks? See, this is why we need your help. This is why we need your input. You are listening to Music Marketing Monday with me, Billy Gryzak, the Music Marketing Mind, and of course,
Bob Baker, Mr. Buzz Factor. It's great to have you on the show. Thanks for tuning in, folks. That's right. So this one, we're going to kind of shine the spotlight on our listeners and give them an opportunity to tell us what to do.
Not just our listeners, but our friends, our fans, our followers, our clients, our peeps, man. You know what
Peeps,
I'm saying?
That's right, man.
Yo.
Solid, man. So
check it out, man. We are 1/4 of the way to 100 now, and I'm all excited. I remember, it's sometimes one of the reasons we like doing the show together is, we actually get some a reason to remember to do it every week. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you're out there on your own, Bob, some days you just don't, feel like it or whatever. And
there's something to be said for deadlines or for commitments that you make. Like when I did my fan funding thing back in June, I made a commitment. I was going to do a one video every day for 30 days in a row. And I took that seriously, even in days when I didn't feel like recording it or whatever. I went ahead and did it anyway because I made the commitment. And I have to admit, since then, my content production has kind of trailed off because I've been catching my breath. But yeah, so I love this weekly format, and I think everybody could probably learn to do something like that. Commit to a regular schedule of something and then do it.
Fantastic. Well, speaking of that, we do get a lot of feedback. Now, I will say I'm a little disappointed that we don't get as much action on MusicMM, the hashtag, as I'd like, but I have an idea for that, and I'll chat with you about it after the show, Bob.
All right, let's not tell anyone now.
No, it'll be our secret. But anyway, today we've been getting cards, letters, emails, text, pigeons, smoke signals with your ideas about things that we should cover in upcoming shows. And honestly, we're swamped here, and we have so many that we're going to just go through them real quickly, maybe say a couple of words about each, and then we're going to set up a special link where you can vote for your favorite ideas so we can give you exactly what you want.
That sounds good. Yeah. And then we'll actually have a poll where you can express you'll stand up and have your vote be counted. And then we'll cover the things that seem to be the most popular.
So you're saying we have to stand up?
Oh, maybe we can sit down. Just maybe sit more upright in your chair.
Okay. That's good. Okay. Fantastic. Before we get started, I'd like to thank, Copper Tom, Mr. Vegas Man, Doug Clyde, Jason Dittner, and Rowan, and a bunch of other folks who've been sending us their ideas recently, this weekend before. So let's get into it. We have a big giant list here. Let me go grab it so I can see.
That's right. These are basically your nominees.
Okay.
Although you probably will be able to, depending on what polling system we use, hopefully be able to add, have a write-in vote.
A write-in vote. That's a great idea. See, this is how we do things. Welcome to the brainstorming session, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, first of all, our first nominee for the fan topic of the podcast is publicity. Just boom, publicity. What does that mean?
Yeah, well, that is a huge topic. It's one that I've talked about a lot. There was a 10-year period where I ran my own music newspaper here in my hometown of St. Louis, Missouri, and so yeah, I know a lot about that. So we might have to slice and dice that if that becomes a popular one. There's the whole how to approach the media. There's like how there's press kit aspects of it, and a lot of what doesn't get talked about is what to do after you get exposure. In the media, is that it? You move on to the next thing? Well, no, there are actually ways that you can leverage the exposure that you get. And so, yeah, that would be a fun one if it ends up getting enough votes.
Right, and that's definitely something that you are an expert about. I'm not afraid to call you an expert there.
I like to think that. Yeah, I've like I said, I've been on the receiving end of that 10-year period of pitches and all that. I know what it's like to be pitched relentlessly, and then I've gotten my fair share of media exposure, and everything. And in fact, I just did an interview recently. I should be in the September issue of Music Connection magazine again. So that'll be cool. That was on NPR's Marketplace some months back, and that was cool. But anyway, yeah. But that's just one of the topics
yeah.
here.
Well, this is gonna be an 80-hour podcast in itself. We don't keep going. Nominee number 2: unusual venues, and boy, have I done my share of those.
Yeah, and I'm glad that that's there because, a lot of people just think of, when they think of live gigs, they think of the traditional venues. But, man, there are so many alternative spaces and places that you can play.
Yeah, and I'm really interested in pursuing that myself because in 2015, I am looking for unusual and different things to do, which bringing us to nominee number 3, another unusual suggestion is unusual performing niches or niches, depending upon which word you like.
That's right. You say tomato, I say tomato.
Right. So I guess what we're talking about is like different genres maybe, or subgenres or subcultures. Christian polka, reggae, funeral marches, or something like that. I don't know.
Exactly. I would like to hear that, come to think of it. So, yeah, that's it. So, yeah, I guess it's kind of a subtle difference between, so it says performing niches. So I don't know if that means a venue or if that means, what that is, but maybe we can clarify.
Yeah, and that one came from Mr. Vegas Man, MrVegasMan.com. So, buddy, if you want to clarify, we'd appreciate that. Okay. Now, 2, I'm going to put them together. This is our next. I'm not even going to number these anymore, but our next nominees are raising money to make a CD besides crowdfunding, and also how to run a successful crowdfunding campaign, which are 2 totally different things. So,
that's right. Yeah. And there are ways to do both. Absolutely. You don't have to use a site like Kickstarter necessarily to tap your fans. But so cool. I'm glad that we separated those.
Right. And our next nominee could almost be one of those ways you could raise money for that CD. Busking. Some people don't even know what that term is, Bob. Can you explain it?
Well, it's the same thing as, it's synonymous with a street performing. Busking, I think, might be a European term. I'm not sure where it originated, but yeah, it's basically playing on the street where you set out a tip jar, or open up your guitar case, and you get tips from passersby. And somebody says it in there, including electronics. So they want new ways of busking.
Well, actually, no. I think that's next.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hey, I'm all for Bob. I think you just set up a new kind of genre. I have done electronic busking, and I'll tell you how I've done that. I've done performances through Concert Window, where basically you're doing like a free show, and people can put money in your tip jar. That's electronic busking. There you go.
Oh, I thought maybe it meant like electronica, like where you play, backbeat or something. Because you get the battery powered. Some streets actually allow you to have some AC access or street performing areas, but a lot of people just bring battery powered, amplifiers or
sure.
Whatever. But I guess you could play some electronic music.
Right.
It's not limited to just an acoustic guitar or piano or whatever.
Right, and of course the next nominee is new ways, including electronic, to do a one-man band. Interesting. And that's something I have a lot of experience with that, so that could be interesting.
Cool.
Okay. And then
what's next there?
Showcases.
And that being like things like NACA or special festival type things, or
right, or libraries, because any place where they any group, where it's the fair festival associations, library associations, college associations, where they bring in vendors and performers to decide, so they can see them in person. So that's definitely something. There's a lot of protocol. There's a lot of convention. There's a lot of political things you need to think of. That topic could take weeks. I have no idea. We'll see about that one. That's a biggie. Here's something I truly do not have a lot of background in myself, but I'm willing to learn, is publishing and licensing of music.
Yeah, it's another one where, I had an intention some months ago. I will get back to it, but I was going to interview a bunch of different people who have had success with licensing, and I have just been put on the back burner for a little bit. But that's another one. Yeah, I need to learn. I know people are definitely making money. Well, any area, any niche of the music business, there are people who are doing really well, and a lot of people still trying to figure it out. And publishing and licensing are, even though they're related, they're also two different things, I think, too. So, publishing is more like, when you have a publishing company and you get, the whatever BMI or ASCAP, they track your sales and you can make money from royalties from, them performing it, and mechanical rights and all this stuff. Whereas licensing is where a company pays you to place your song in a film or an ad or something.
Speaking of that, may I digress for a moment?
Absolutely. You're the best at the digression. You're the best digressor I know.
And progressor. I'm a progressive digressive, okay?
Exactly.
No, check it out, man. I have some wonderful news. I got an email the other day, and I've been doing that, trying to get this zombie band project off the ground for about a year, and just kind of toying with it as a hobby, right?
I heard it was kind of dead.
Yeah, it is.
You're breathing new life into it.
Where's the rim shot sound effect? Rim shot sound effect. Anyway, check it out, man. So I was actually, it's funny you should say it's dead, because we didn't really know what we were doing with it. And I was going to take all the zombie stuff down and take the song down. We have one song up. I got an email, and this is a perfect example of how the internet is eternal. I just got an email yesterday from a movie producer that's releasing a movie coming up here in about a month. And it's a documentary on zombie culture. And he just asked if he could place the song that he found on YouTube, my one zombie song, if he could place it in the film for the end credits, which means that I would have the only song that plays from beginning to end in the entire movie.
Oh, wow.
And I'm really excited about that. And how he found me, he was just using the number 2 search engine, YouTube, looking for original zombie songs. So there you go, guys.
Oh, wow. So your one song that you posted was available on YouTube, as well as other. Oh, wow.
No, it's not even for sale. We never got that far. We just made like a little slideshow video and put it up on YouTube. And in fact, if you guys are interested, check it out. It's called Malicious, a Zombie Song. And let me know what you think about it. It's literally, my son and I recorded it in our kitchen. And we put it up because we were going to do the zombie band, and I figured we needed a video, and I never took it down, and now it's going to be in a movie.
That's cool. And then you talk about unusual niches.
There you go.
That's one, baby.
Okay,
all right.
Moving
What's next
on
on the list? Yes.
All right, now I dig this. This isn't necessarily marketing, but it could be, depending upon how you use it. It's the best or coolest new gear. And I've actually used my equipment as marketing tools. And for instance, we use that really high-tech Bose stuff, Mm-hmm. And it's really funny when I go to gigs or I solicit myself for shows, I mention we use state-of-the-art Bose equipment, and it actually gets me hired and makes me some more money sometimes, because they know that since I buy the best, we must be pretty good. So I've actually used equipment as a marketing tool. Pretty cool, huh?
That's cool. Anything can, from your perspective, anything can be a marketing tool.
Everything is a marketing tool.
Everything is marketing.
And I love this next one because it kind of goes hand in hand. Tips on how to up the ante and get paid more for your gigs.
Oh, yeah. Reach another fee level, get paid more. Oh, yeah. Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's definitely, there's a whole strategy to that, and negotiation and blah, blah, blah. But that's a good one, too.
Since you brought up negotiation, that is the next nomination, how to negotiate.
I am just very perceptive in that manner.
Yeah.
I have a list in front of me.
Beautiful. So, you mean you're just not making this up? You're like reading the list. Wow.
In fact, can I please read the next one, Billy?
Yeah, yes, Bob.
Okay,
You've been good today, so it's your turn.
Okay. This is my time to stand up in class. How to leave them, meaning your audience or your customers, wanting more.
More.
So you don't really, you don't have to unleash the entire, kitchen sink and everything on. You can leave them wanting more, but still giving them satisfaction, nonetheless. Cool. Go ahead. What's the next one? It has the word unusual, so I'll go ahead and let you handle that
Hey,
one.
Bob, let's try to say it together at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Unusual, odd, shocking, and or astounding performance
gimmicks
that will help add pizzazz to your show.
A lot of people with headphones on were freaking out on that one, right?
Okay, unusual, odd, shocking, and or astounding performance gimmicks that will help you add pizzazz to your show. Not what we just did.
Yeah, exactly. That was astounding podcasting gimmicks, but I don't know about a show. Yeah, so that would be following maybe in some of the territory that Tom Jackson from Nashville covers. He's a live performance producer who covers a lot of that stuff. But that would be, I've been to many of his workshops, so that would be a fun one if it gets the votes.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we're not playing any favorites here, right? We're just kind of laying them all out there and letting you decide. Although maybe we do have our favorites.
Well, even if we do. Have our favorites. Pull new gear. No, seriously, this is totally up to you guys because as you can tell, Bob and I just love to talk about all this stuff, and we've been reading it, studying it, and living it for so many years. We got to get it out of our head, so that's why we're doing this. All right.
This next one is very much related to the one we read together. That's ways to make your show more interactive. So that's like a really specific, and the more specific you can be when you do suggest show things like publicity, like the first one we mentioned is so broad. But if you could give us, when you do suggest future show topics or things you'd like, just the more specific, the better. It makes it easier for us to give you the information that you need. But making more interactive shows of people clapping, dancing, singing along. I'm sure there are many aspects to that. How about the next one, Billy?
What is the next one?
How to run a successful... Oh, we kind of covered that.
Yeah.
Earlier.
How to get radio airplay.
That's right. Here on here we are on the big hot top 40 countdown.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'd love to dig into that. Radio, what is radio? What do you mean by radio? Because radio has changed and transformed. You have terrestrial radio, you have internet radio, you have podcasting. Wow, where do you go with that one?
And what we're doing right now could be considered radio, I suppose.
Oh, it is. I mean, podcasting basically is radio on demand is what it is. It's downloadable radio on demand. So yeah. And how to get album reviews. Ooh.
It's an old school form, but there are also many ways of doing that these days.
All right.
And then here's one. I actually don't know a lot about this, but are independent music awards worth seeking, or submitting to, or whatever? And that is a good question.
I have a lot of input on that. Not only have I won and submitted to many, but actually I was one of the co-founders of a children's music award. So yeah, I've been on both sides of the fence on that. Now, we're not limited to these ideas. So if you're listening to the show and you thought to yourself, man, when are they going to do that show about fill in the blank here? This is your time to go to the show notes, click the link that we're going to supply, or go to hashtag MusicMM on Twitter, please, and tell us what you want. This is your last chance, okay? So, your last chance for this round. I'm sure we'll do this again. And I also want to say, too, at show 25, it's not that we've run out of things to talk about. We just want to make sure that we're giving you the type of content, the type of information, the type of inspiration that you... That's where you say something, Bob.
That's right. You dropped off for a second there, but but we're still here. Yeah, we want your input because Billy and I we have an infinite number of things between the two of us. And it seems like there's ever a subject that one of us doesn't know a whole lot about, the other one does. And but just instead of us randomly pulling stuff out of our own repertoire, we want to serve you, the listener. And so This is your opportunity to let us know how we can serve you better.
Yes.
That's right. Table for two. Come right this way.
Yes.
So follow that link and take the poll, and just keep in touch with us. We want to make this interactive. So
right now, where can we find the poll?
Well, a couple of places. I know whenever you promote the link, it's on a page on Stitcher, right?
Right. We have a Stitcher, and by the way, do you know? Do you know the news? Do you know the big news?
I have not heard.
Oh, come on, you serious? As of this week, actually it'd be last week to you folks because it airs on Monday, we are now on iTunes.
Yay! We need party noises and applause.
Yeah, I'm serious, man. We are actually on iTunes now at Music Marketing Monday. So do a search on iTunes and bam, you can have it delivered right to your iDevice. And if you choose to use Stitcher, definitely Stitcher. Spreaker, don't forget Spreaker.
I forgot. I meant to say Spreaker. That's right. The link that you
And I don't know if we're on iHeartRadio now or yet, but my plan, just so everybody knows, or our plan together, Bob, you and I, our plan that you don't know about, Bob, is to make sure that by this fall we are everywhere. So whether you're a TuneIn fan, iHeart fan, Stitcher, Spreaker, iTunes, whatever Podcast One, whatever it is, wherever you choose to get your content on demand, we will be there. YouTube. By the way, these shows are always uploaded to my YouTube channel. I don't know if you knew that or not. So you can.
Yeah, and I actually have a playlist on my YouTube channel called Music Marketing Monday, and I periodically go in and I'm adding the latest episodes to it. So Does it automatically happen, or do you have to do that manually?
Well, it automatically goes to your your actual channel, but if you want it in a playlist, you got to manually put those in still.
Right, but that's a pretty cool feature of Spreaker, I guess.
Spreaker, I like Spreaker. It's really great. But people can also go directly to your page, right, Bob?
Yes. So I always post it on my podcast tab at thebuzzfactor.com, thebuzzfactor.com. Click the podcast tab and you'll see all the most recent episodes of Music Marketing Monday, as well as my Artist Empowerment Radio podcast that I've been doing for many years. But I'll definitely have a link to the poll in the show notes there. So please click through, go and tell us what you want to hear. And like I said, hopefully there'll be a fill in the blank ad. If there's something that's not on the list that you want to add, would love to hear that. And otherwise, you can use hashtag MusicMM on Twitter and communicate with us that way as well.
And those of you that are part of my Facebook music support group, it's called Music Marketing Mind, Facebook groups, Music Marketing Mind. Please, you can, I'll have the link there. We always communicate there. And if you're not a member of the group, please join. It's free.
Yeah, and a way that you can put this into practice too, as an artist yourself, consider doing this with your fans. Ask them what they want to hear, what kind of song topics, or if they have, just ask them to help you in whatever aspect of your career you need help with. Maybe it's planning your set list for your show this coming weekend, or artwork, or whatever. But there are many ways to turn to your fans, like we're doing here, and ask for their feedback and how you can serve them better.
Yeah, actually, I did that several years ago. I just periodically would say to my fans, what are your favorite songs from my catalog, when I'm doing Mr. Billy for kids and families. And some of the songs that ended up in the top 5, top 10, I never performed live. And I said, whoa, that's really weird. So, you've got songs that are your favorites. Like, there's this one song, Super Monkey. I still don't do it live for whatever reasons, but people love that song. And it's just like, wow, I really should be playing that song. So, sometimes you don't even know what their favorite songs are unless you ask the question.
I know I'm going to be going to listen to the Super Monkey right as soon as we're finished recording.
Oh my! It's a polka.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Weird Al would be proud.
He would, man. Here's a really funny story behind that, but I'm not going to bore people with that now. If you'd like to hear the story, hit me up at Music Market Mind on Twitter. Music Market Mind on Twitter. And say, yo, Billy, tell me the story about the
Yeah, the Super Monkey. Is that what it's called?
Super Monkey. Yeah. There's
Okay,
there's
cool.
there's there's a great story behind it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's nice. Use a super monkey, super monkey, super monkey.
He's very funky. All right. Yeah, I can hear the unsubscribes going. Click. All right.
Let's wrap this one up.
Dude, we're under 30 minutes this week. That's wild.
I know. It's about time, isn't it?
All right, now let's just go for another 5. All right, Bob. Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us. And like I said, if it's your first time listening, the format today is a little different than usual. We'll be back to our regular format next week. And we really appreciate you subscribing, listening, sharing, telling people how much you enjoy the audio caffeine from Bob and I. And we'll keep doing it as long as you want us to.
That's right. So let us know how we can serve you better in the upcoming episodes. And there's more coming. This is 25 down, many more to go.
In the year 25. Remember that one?
If zombies were still alive.
That's a different one.
If monkeys were super duper. I'm tying it all in.
Yeah, say goodbye.
All right.
Say goodbye, Bob.
All right. Goodbye, Bob.
Goodbye, Bob.
So long, folks. See you later. Bye.
Are you still there? Excellent! Now would be a good time to visit hostbaby.com for your free 30-day trial. Of course.